Welcome to Doula Tips and Tits, the podcast where we cut through the noise and get real about what it takes to build a sustainable doula business. I'm Kaely Harrod. I've been a doula informally for 14 years and full-time for 7. Around here, we don't sugarcoat stuff. We talk autonomy, owning your worth, creating a business that works for you. No fluff, no burnout, just the honest truth on how to be your own best boss. Let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Doula Tips and Tits. I am going to talk today about how do we make a 90-day plan. The reason I'm talking about this is that at the time of recording, this is the week that I did my Doula CEO game plan workshop, where we talk about 90-day plans and how they actually give you direction, give you strategy, help move your business forward, etc. And so I want to talk a little bit today about that topic for the sake of some continuity in the topics I'm discussing this week, but also so that if you were at that workshop, you find hopefully this a little bit helpful or more direction. So what matters most when you're making a 90-day plan? And I think when I was thinking about this, I think I kind of landed on 3 main questions that seem like the most important information to help you choose what your 90-day plan should be, right? And I think the reason there need to be questions and not answers right now is that I can't just say this is the 90-day plan that doulas should have in Q3 of any given year, right? Because I don't know that. I don't know what exactly your business needs without having eyeballs on the ins and outs of your business, right? So I have doulas say to me things like, do you think I need to be on Instagram? And I'm like, I don't know. I have questions like, what is your presence like on Instagram now? Where are you getting clients from? Where are you in the process of being a doula? Are you new? Are you not new? Do you have online offerings or not? I have more questions than I have answers at first, because whether or not you need to be on Instagram with a strong presence depends on what you're trying to do, right? What kind of work are you doing and where are you in that process of work, and how are you trying to use that platform? So again, just like the workshop, this is meant to start the brainstorming process and even maybe a little bit of validation on where you should be in the 90-day plan. So I think the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what is happening in your life right now, right? What is happening in your life in the next 90 days? Now, if you're a parent and you're listening to this in real time, you probably have school starting sometime soon, right? And definitely in the next 90 days. If you do like a regular U.S. school system schedule, right? So for us, we start school in, 11 days, I think. What day is today? Yeah, 11 days. We start school. Now, I have older kiddos, so my kids are 12, almost 13, 14, almost 15, and 16. And so we're starting 2 kiddos in high school, 1 kid still in middle school. But still, the things that come with starting school is lots of preparation stuff, lots of back to school meetings, lots of back to school paperwork as we're figuring out all the stuff for back to school. And then, which reminds me, I need to send their health forms in. And then lots of back to school schedule shifts, right? So I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I had a client text me and say hey, I'm trying to schedule our prenatal visit, but your schedule says it's full until October. And I was like, yeah, I didn't open it yet because I was a little bit nervous about what the school year was going to look like. And I needed to just get my brain together before I put out availability. And she was totally got it. Don't worry. And I was give me 1 day and then I will set the schedule. And then I promise there's availability in September. It's not that I'm not available. It's that I haven't allowed anyone to book in September yet. So even the shift of calendar, right? So the reason I want you to think about what's happening is that I think We often think about self-employment and small business ownership as if it's something that you just need to like grit your teeth and muscle through. And that's surprisingly maybe not sustainable, right? Like that's actually a bad way to live life. And so sometimes it's needed, right? Like there are times when you're in a survival space where you just have to literally muscle through, but not all the time. And so part of what I want you to look at is, are you having some kind of emergency thing in the next 90 days or like life crisis of some sort? Are you having a family thing that's a big deal? Are you out of town? Do you have a surgery coming up? Is there like a move that's happening in your life, right? Like there's just what is happening, because that will also tell me, should you just be maintaining stuff or should you actually be like doing some big project, building something new? Like, is there something that you should be doing in this 90 days, or is this the 90 days to do nothing? Not nothing, but like nothing new, right? So that's the first question. What is happening in your life? Second question, what is most urgent? So I'm going to tell you a little story to highlight this. I have a coach. You all know this because I talk about her a lot. Her name is Anna. She's great. She has like I don't know, a spreadsheet, I guess it is, that talks about like your offers, like which offers do you have, how much do they make, and how many of them do you sell, and blah, 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 blah. And so I filled that all out one year. It was right at the beginning of my coaching with her. So it was a couple years ago now. And I had been saying to her, okay, the reason I need a coach is I need to grow my coaching, my doula coaching, right? I want to have more doulas that I coach. I want to have more group programs. I want to have more whatever. At the time, I was coaching doulas, but like less than a dozen at a time, right? Like it was like definitely a smaller number of doulas. And I only had one or two packages for coaching. So like it was a small offer. And my kind of narrative was, my doula services are thriving. I don't need coaching in that. What I need is coaching in my coaching services. And she took the other thing I was saying to her, so this is context that matters, is I am the primary source of income in our family and I need to make more money. And I remember so distinctly, she said, okay, Kaely, you know I say this lovingly, but you need to make more money quickly, correct? And I was like, yes. And she was like, okay, so why are we trying to grow a program that's very small that is not going to very quickly make you money? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, why don't we raise your doula rates? And I was like, I don't think I can. Like, I'm not sure. She was like, I know mentally this is not what you thought you needed. She was like, but your doula services are thriving. You have a constant stream of inquiries. Why not raise that rate and raise the number of people that are hiring you? That is a quick avenue to cash. And then once you have cash stability, we can really like in a spacious way dive into the coaching. And I was kind of like, that's not what I planned on, and she was like, I know, take a couple days, like have your fit about it. She was like, I really think this is what we need to do. And she was right? She was absolutely right. The fastest way to make more money was to sell more of the offers I already had. That's almost always true. And so what is most urgent for me in that 90 days when I was chatting with her, it was to make more money on a 90-day basis, right? Maybe the most urgent thing for you is to adjust how you're marketing, adjust how you're networking, etc. And so what that urgency is differs person to person, but I think that needs to be the second question when you're kind of thinking through how to set your goal. The third question I want you to think about is, where are you in business? So this is where I think we can get a little bit Frankenstein-ish with our business strategy and planning, is that we lack context sometimes for when business information is pertinent to us, right? So I'm going to go back to Instagram. So I have a lot of people saying like, I know I need to be more consistent on Instagram. And when I ask them like, well, what are you doing now? They're like, oh, I just finished my training. I like just became a doula. And I'm like, do you have an Instagram? They're like, yeah, I have one, but I've never posted on it. And I'm like, okay, well then consistency is not what you need. Right? Like you're actually not at a place of consistency. You don't even have anything there. So like maybe you need an Instagram account. Maybe you need some content on your Instagram account, but also maybe not. Like maybe that's something we table until you like have a contract or have a package, or have a business card that you can physically set down at places in your local community because you want physical people to have your services, right? Not Instagram people online. And so part of the context of whether this business plan and business direction even is helpful to you is what is going on in your business and where are you in this process, right? If your goal for 90 days is to be fully booked, and I ask you, like, have you had any doula clients, and you have not, that's not a good 90-day goal, right? It's not that I don't want you to be fully booked eventually, but it's not going to happen in the next 90 days probably, right? But if you're telling me like, hey, I'm like half booked right now, and I want to be fully booked, that is a good 90-day plan, because you probably can feasibly do that in 90 days, where it's not possible or not likely to do that if you are only starting out and you have had like one client ever, right? So I want you to think through those 3 questions. So again, question number 1, what is happening in your life? Question number 2, what is most urgent? Question number 3, where are you in your business? As you're writing down your 90-day plan, connect with me on Instagram at Harrod Doula and tell me what your 90-day plan is, because I would love to cheer you on and be just someone in your corner who's telling you you got this. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Doula Tips and Tits podcast. If you learned something today or had an aha moment, we'd love for you to share that on Instagram and tag us at Harrod Doula so we can celebrate alongside you. If you found this podcast helpful, we would so appreciate you taking a second to leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast app. That helps other doulas find us as we do this work together. This podcast is intended as educational and entertainment. It is not medical advice or business advice. Please consult your own medical or legal team for your own needs around your health and your business. We'll see you again soon.